So I'm super hairy and I just hate it. I really freaking hate it. I made videos a while ago about laser hair removal. It's something that I've dealt with for a long time, probably since I was like 12 or 13. I started noticing like these hairs on like my chin and like my jawline. And it's like so frustrating, especially as like a dark skinned person with coarse hair. Um, my skin is actually not as dark as other black people's skin is. Like I'm like medium tone, but in the winter I'm like lighter, and like my hair is dark though, so you can see the hair, and it's really frustrating. And I just like can't stand having to deal with like removing hair from my face where I don't want it. I can't do things like waxing or tweezing because the hair is so curly, it'll just grow back ingrown under my skin, and then I'll have like hyperpigmentation and all these other things that I really hate and I can't stand. And I had really good results with laser hair removal, but it's not permanent, it's semi-permanent. And I wasn't able to keep up with the treatments because of med school and then residency, and like I'm just too busy and I don't have time to do it. But I'm so sick of the hair, and now that like COVID is kind of like passing and we're going back to like not having to wear masks necessarily all the time, like I can't just like hide it. So I want to do something that's more permanent, and electrolysis is really the only like permanent method of hair removal. And I've like thought about it, but like have been worried about it. But I was also worried about laser hair removal. I was worried that I would get like burned by the laser and then I would have like scarring, and that actually didn't happen for me. But I also went to a doctor who did it, and not just like a med spa where like a random nurse was doing it. It's important to make sure that you know like who you're going to, that that person has experience treating people with like darker skin, especially if you're a dark skinned person. So I don't know, I'm kind of hesitant to go to like a different place to get like electrolysis, or even just a different person to get laser hair removal, because I don't want to end up with like those negative side effects that some people have. And it really sucks because it's like, as a woman, you're not supposed to have hair on your face, but we are human beings. Okay, so we have body hair, we have hair on our faces. Some women might have like an underlying medical condition like PCOS, which is probably the most common. I actually had the workup for PCOS, and while I do have like ovarian cysts, they're not enough to meet the criteria to diagnose PCOS. But then again, you can have PCOS and not have the cysts on your ovaries. So it's like there's like three different clinical criteria that you can use, and I don't remember them, but you can have the diagnosis without actually even having cysts. So I don't know, but for some people it's genetic, and there's no like necessarily like underlying etiology. Like I'm hairy, my twin sister's hairy, our mom is hairy, so for us it's just genetic. And I've had like the hormonal workup, and like none of that was the problem. I think we're just hairy and it sucks. And some people, like some actually ethnicities are hairier than others, like people of like South Asian descent and like Middle Eastern descent, for example, they often have a lot of body hair. They have beautiful hair, but they also have a lot of body hair, and that's just normal. Like it's just a genetic thing. But still, like society decides what is a normal amount of hair for a woman to have on her body, and when you don't fit into that, like it just makes you feel really like insecure and just like gross. And like I know I'm not the only one that deals with it, because I've seen so many videos of other women talking about it and talking about their experience and how they deal with it and how they remove hair. And it's like it's more frustrating when you have dark skin and you're more likely to like scar or have hyperpigmentation. And there are a lot of ways that you can deal with it, but it's just like it gives you more anxiety about it, because it's like no matter what you do, there's going to be some like drawback, or it's going to have some like negative effect that you're not going to like. But I've been really thinking about doing electrolysis, and I think I might do it and maybe even document my experience with it, because I want to help other people that have the same issue and that are just so sick of it and want to get rid of it permanently. Like the drawback for electrolysis is that it takes a lot longer. It's something that the technician has to actually see the individual hairs and remove them one at a time. So, you know, it takes like hours. It takes maybe even like years to see the final full result. But it's something that I'm willing to do if it's going to make me feel better about myself and make me feel less self-conscious. So maybe I'll do it, and I'll like record my experience, and so other people like me can see what it's like. But like, yeah, I'm just sick of it. I just want to get rid of it, and I want it to be gone permanently, and I want to like not have to worry about it anymore or pay a lot of money to like remove the hair. You know what's weird to me is that laser hair removal is actually way more expensive than electrolysis, at least based on what I've been researching. For the electrolysis appointments, like how much you pay depends on how long your session is, because the person is literally just like zapping the hairs one by one and taking them out. So that takes a lot of time. But it's still cheaper than laser hair removal. At least for me, it's been like laser hair removal for like my face, for like my chin and my jawline. It costs like $250 for one appointment. The good thing about laser hair removal is that it's fast, and the laser can target multiple hairs at one time. So it's not like the person doing it is like just going for one individual hair at a time. It gets like different patches all at once. So it's faster, but it's like it's more expensive and it doesn't last as long. And electrolysis is actually permanent. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it and like share my experience, and you can decide whether or not you want to try it too.